What's up guys, this is Matt from RamseyVoice.com and thank you so much for watching this video. Lots of people wonder whether they can really learn to sing or whether you're just born with it. Now I've taught a lot of students now and I promise you anyone can learn to sing. It just takes the right singing techniques. And today I want to teach you how to sing almost anything as long as you follow these very 10 simple, easy steps. Now, before we get into that, if you find this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for this channel. Or, if you want to jump right on in and start improving your voice today, check out my complete singing course, Master Your Voice. Now, there are a lot of different ways to learn to sing. You can learn to sing through online video lessons, you can learn to sing through a singing course like mine, or you can learn to sing through private voice lessons. What's the best way? Well, private voice lessons, of course, are the best way to learn to sing because you get the individual feedback that you need in order to improve your voice. But even still, there's some great singing techniques that work for a lot of different people in teaching them to learn to sing. So what I want to do is I want to show you my 10 favorite exercises to help you learn to sing better today. Now, before we get started, I just want to show you that there are a couple of these exercises that are really, really silly. They're like super funny and they're not supposed to be sung that way when you're singing songs. Everything that I give you today are vocal exercise sounds. They're learning to sing sounds. They're not like performance ready sounds. Okay, now that we've got that out of the way, let's jump on in. So the first way that I want you to learn to sing is I want you to learn to sing with good posture. What does good posture mean? In singing, good posture means you're singing with a tall posture. What does tall posture mean? It means that you're keeping your feet at about shoulder width apart. Your feet should be shoulder width apart, which should also line up equally with your waist. Now, as you're standing in this nice tall formation, you also want to keep your chest comfortably lifted and your shoulders are not raised, they're not lowered. I'm just keeping everything nice and straight. And you can see that if I turn to my side as well, I've got my feet at about shoulder width, I've got my chest comfortably lifted, my gaze, my neck, my chin, everything is moving straight forward. I'm not like playing guitar like little sad singer-songwriter in the closet. It's just like, so sad. No, we're just gonna keep everything nice and tall, at least for today. Totally fine if you play guitar on stage and you want to like bend over it like you're Elliott Smith, want to be really sad and emo about it. Or like if you're rocking out and you want to like move all around, this is not the time for that. This is the time to improve your singing voice in as best a way that you can. And the best way to start off is just having this great tall posture. The next thing that you want to look at is you want to learn to sing from the diaphragm. Now, learning to sing from the diaphragm is one of those really old ideas that's been so convoluted, so confused over so long, lots of people don't even know what it means anymore. It's really, really simple. When you inhale, you're not going to move your chest or your shoulders when you breathe in. In other words, you're actually going to isolate all of your breath to the bottom part of your stomach here. So you're going to inhale, and my stomach is going to come out. My ribs are expanding, but my shoulders are not raising like this. Why is that important? Well, it's important for a couple of reasons. Number one, you're going to get a much larger volume of air if you're going to inhale from your stomach like that than you are if you're breathing from here. And the second thing is that it sounds a little bit tense. Like if I'm holding my breath up here, you can actually hear that in my voice, whereas if I take a nice low belly breath from my diaphragm, everything is totally relaxed. So, the third way that I want you to learn to sing is I want you to learn to sing with good vocal tone. What does good vocal tone mean? It means that when you're singing, you're not too nasally, you're not too breathy, you're actually keeping everything in a very beautiful, spoken, loud, resonant, and rich sound. So for instance, like I give this example all the time of like, say yes, of like, I'm in love with the world through the eyes of a girl. It's just so breathy and a little bit nasal. So what we want to do instead is we want to actually sing a little bit more the way that we speak. Now, what's a great way to do that? Well, one of my favorite exercises to help you learn to sing with good vocal tone is to give you a 5-tone count scale. So what we're going to do is we're just going to count up to 5 on the different notes in your voice, and you're actually going to count out the number as you sing the scale. So for guys, I'm going to start us right here on D3 like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's try that here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now notice I'm not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm also not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not breathy, it's not nasal, it's just speaking like you sing. Now we're gonna do that same thing for ladies, starting here on G3, going up to a D4. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Moving up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, if you do this very, very simple scale, you will notice two things. You're not breathy anymore, because if you're speaking the notes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no one's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everyone speaks with a little bit more heft, a little bit more richness, because the intention is to communicate. Now, the other thing that you'll notice is that you're not going too nasal. You're not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's straight out the mouth. Everything is very, very clear. Now, how do you apply that to singing? Well, the fourth way that I want you to learn to sing is I want you to learn to project correctly. Now, what do I mean by learning to project correctly? Projecting means that you're using a rich and resonant volume. You're not too light, you're not too loud, you're just right in the middle. And just like we were talking about with the 5-tone count, you can actually kind of speak the notes a little bit more. So to go back to the Elliott Smith example, so rather than I'm in love with the world through the eyes of a girl, which we already said was a little bit breathy, a little bit nasal, what would happen if I spoke the words a little bit more, if I projected them a little bit more? So rather than I'm in love, how about I'm in love with the world through the eyes of a girl? So I've actually got a little bit more kind of support in my voice. And even though that's not the way that Smith sang it, and I love the way that he sings it, it's not true to my voice, because my voice is like pretty loud and strong. If you listen to Elliott Smith's voice, you know he was like kind of like talk like this all the time. So he was doing what was true for him. Now, the next thing that I want to show you is it is so important that while we're doing these exercises and kind of learning to project, learning to sing better, it's really important that you also sing in the different vocal registers of your voice. So now that you're standing with the tall posture, you're singing from the diaphragm, and you're also projecting those words with good vocal tone, it's time to actually start singing in your chest voice even a little bit more strongly. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the bottom part of your voice, the lowest notes in your voice, and we're going to just sing that on a 5-tone scale again. But rather than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's get it even a little bit more chest voice on a gug, 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 gug. So gentlemen, you'll join me here, down here on D3. So like gug, 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 gug. Gug, 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 gug. Notice how strong and resonant it is. Gug, 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 gug. Now, ladies, we're going to do that same thing here. It's not gug, 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 gug. It's gug, 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 gug. Like you're saying it. Gug, 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 gug. Gug, 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 gug. So that is your chest voice. That is kind of the anchor for your entire voice. That's the foundation for this beautiful house that you're building with your voice. Now, what's on the top of that? Well, we've actually got another vocal register on top of that, which we call the head voice. So even though we're singing super strong now, gug, 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 it's also important that we start experimenting and discovering the top part of your voice, the head voice. So how do we do that? What we want to do is we want to just use a really easy long scale. It's an 1.5 octave scale. And I like to break it down into triplets like this. Triplet, 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 done. And you can pause and rewind and listen to that scale as many times as you want. But what we're going to do is we're going to sing that on a very heady vowel, a vowel that lets us get up to the top part of our voice very easily. In this case, E. So what we're going to do is we're going to sing we like this. We, 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 we. Guys, join me here. We, 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 we. Now notice I'm not just going with my chest voice. I'm finding some of that head voice in there as well. Ladies, we're going to do the same thing right here. We, 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 we. Now notice I'm not pushing them. And I'm coming down to my chest voice at the end of each one of those. Now, what a lot of you may find is that when you're singing off the top part of your voice, you'll you'll have a little break or a little catch or a little hitch in your voice there. Now, while that's not desirable, that is the first step in finding your head voice. But now that you've found where your head voice is, let's start to reinforce those notes a little bit so that you can sing those a little bit stronger. We call that singing with a mix because you're singing with a mix of the chest voice and the head voice. Now, what does that mean? It means that rather than I would So the next step is I want you to learn to sing with a mix. Now, what's a great exercise for that? One of my favorite exercises is doing the same scale, but doing it on gee, like you're saying the word geese. So rather than would be the way that the notes sound. Guys, we'll start here on B flat 2. So ladies, we'll do the same thing right here, starting on G3. One more. And notice as you're singing those, you're not pushing up to it, you're not flipping into your falsetto, you're why? Because that g kind of helps you stay a little bit more connected. Now that you've kind of learned to sing with a little bit more of that mixed voice, let's see if we can build even more power into that. So the next step in learning to sing is actually learning to belt. So now that you've got that nice strong sound at the top part of your voice, let's actually build a little bit more voice into that. So one of my favorite exercises for doing that is doing an octave arpeggio repeat, like this. Now rather than doing it on a slightly headier vowel, like a let's do it on more of a belty vowel. In this case, we'll do it on an ah. Kind of like you're a little brat on the playground, go na 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 na. Guys, we'll start right here on F sharp 4. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Ladies, we'll do the same thing right here. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Yeah. Now you'll notice that I get a lot more volume and a lot more power using that bratty na than I did on the It's no competition. I get so much more sound, so much more volume, so much more brightness with that really ugly ah sound. So as you're learning to belt correctly, it's important that you keep it really bratty rather than na 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 na, and focus on making that as bratty as possible rather than just as loud as possible. So if you work on that bratty stuff for a while, you may notice that the parts of your voice that were a little bit maybe breaky before are starting to become less so, but it's kind of an ugly sound. So what we want to do next is we want to actually start to smooth out the whole range and find a much closer sound to real singing. So in this case, we're actually going to use that octave and a half scale that we did earlier, but rather than do it on a which works great, but is still ugly, instead let's go for a more normal sound. In this case, we'll do a mum, like mum, 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 mum. Guys, join me here. Mum, 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 mum. Mum, 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 mum. One more. Mum, 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 mum. Ladies, we'll start right here on G3, going up to a Fantastic. Now that you've kind of like sung from the bottom part of your voice to the top of your voice and learned to sing really evenly and learn to sing without breaking or straining or anything like that, you can do some really cool stuff in songs. You can start to find like, I am not your rolling wheels. You can do hello from the other side. You can start to find those high notes with a lot of power and relaxation, and you can learn to sing them. But it's also fun to do some vocal effects as well. So the last thing that I want you to learn to sing today is actually learning to sing with vocal effects like vibrato. So today I'm going to show you a really simple exercise to find your vibrato. Now keep in mind, this is again a really silly exercise. It's not meant to do this on stage, but it will help you find the vibrato. What you're going to do is you're just going to find a note that's comfortable at the bottom part of your voice. For me, I'll just start with an E note and I'll sing that. And what I want you to do is I want you to take one hand and make a fist. With the other hand, I actually want you to cover that fist, and you're going to place them just over your solar plexus, probably like an inch or two above your belly button or an inch or two below your breastbone. So you're going to do an E, but as you sing that E, you're actually going to bring this fist into your stomach. So it's important that you're not tightening up your abs or anything. We actually want the air to move. So in my voice, it'd be kind of like E. If it sounds like you're giving somebody CPR, you're in the right place, so don't worry. Now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna sing that same thing. Guys, we can start a little bit lower if you need to. You can also start a little bit lower around this E3. And ladies, we're gonna start a little bit higher on this A3. So guys, we'll just start off with you. You're just gonna sing and hold an E, and then you're going to bring this into your stomach to create that vibrato. So from an E, try it again. E, cracking myself up. Ladies, we're gonna start here at this A3. So E, again. E, well, great. I'm giving myself stomach compressions like I'm sick or something, but actually what we're doing is we're teaching your voice how to start alternating the breath flow that creates the vibrato. So what you can do is you can actually start to sing that vibrato with the diaphragmatic pulse there, and then you can start to take it away, kind of like this. E. Ladies, we can do the same thing here. Make sure that you get that vibrato starting first and then release. E. And there you go. And then you're on your way. And then you can start to add that into your songs like that. Hello from the other side. You can start to add that onto those different notes in your voice to really spice them up and learn to sing a whole lot better. Guys, I hope you found this video super helpful in learning how to sing. There's so many great ways to learn how to sing out there, but I hope you found some great exercises in here. Happy singing.